whatever he said. And we thought, we're the Astros, and nobody really, I don't know much, but I didn't really know why it was the Astros, and we were trying to think up other names that might be
Led the major leagues in strikeouts.
and
Maniacs.
different things like this. So we kind of waxed stupid about the whole topic for a while.
Wax stupid, I like that.
And
Wax.
so I did a little research, and I came up with found the history of the Astros. All right, so it reads something like your Darth Vader story.
You mean my mother-in-law?
Since it is the since it is the Astros. But so thank you for your extreme patience with this one, But it all started in a galaxy far, far away, also known as Everett. There lived a small group of young boys desperately searching for the best way to misspend their youth. So murky was this gene pool that its spawn spanned the spectrum of humans, celluloids, and animals. One fateful April morning, their lives would become inextricably linked when a van, erratically piloted by a cannabis mutant named Hugo von Spielberg, and carrying popular culture, audio, and video artifacts from the 20th century, collided with a nuclear-powered beer truck, directly adjacent to a field where our young anti-heroes were loitering. Our lads were caught full on by the withering fallout. The group was left more dazed than normal, and with bodies still youthful to the eye, yet irreparably aged in terms of foot speed and coordination. And as they staggered to their feet, they were thankful that it had been a beer truck and not a bookmobile that had rewired their collective consciousness. First to stand erect was Brady Saurus, who, upon seeing his
Are you
new...
sure it wasn't Brady Sorak?
There's more.
I was going to let that slide. The next company.
His ears
He just
went,
felt something here.
who, upon seeing his new ragtag group of brethren, exclaimed, "Holy shit, these guys are pathetic!" And he resumed his more natural position on all fours and roamed the site for any beer containers that he could find. Aroused by the sounds of the Bradysaurus tossing empty beer cans behind him, the Velociraptor slowly got to his feet and methodically caught each can in midair and tossed it behind him accurately into a nearby garbage can. A stray dog, which had narrowly escaped death after his tail was severed by a flying hubcap, retrieved a full beer for Bradysaurus, who exclaimed, "I like it." And a lifetime bond was forged. The puns will just not stop. Spoiler alert. Okay. In said garbage can was the Pokemon, who, in the moments prior to the accident, had gotten his outsized head stuck while searching for an errant slice of pizza.
Good cause.
Liberated by an otherwise lethal dose of radiation, his head had now shrunk in size from the ridiculous to the merely silly. The industrious Pokemon gathered in all of the empties, planning to redeem them to purchase a helmet large enough to contain his squash for future expansion.
We're not laughing at it.
Under the smoke-filled van were Gulinar and Spinelko. Trapped in an all-consuming cannabis cloud, Hugo von Spielberg worked feverishly to free them. After 10 long minutes and 3 breaks for cheese, popcorn, pretzels, and peanuts, Hugo pried the van off of the 2 victims. Desperate to see if they survived, Hugo called out, "Are you 2 dickheads okay?"
Can you imagine? Can you write a check for $300?
Right on the table.
You're in.
cast a sidelong look at Hugo, and with one hand pulled the van back on top. He then began cooking hamburgers on the charred frame. And Spinelko added, "Nuclear blast a tit, man. Give me another hit off the tailpipe." Hugo knew then that this was a special day. And by all accounts, it was a special day. The others in the group came to life. There was Jafarius, who was miraculously unscathed, save for 2 scraped kneecaps that would just not stop bleeding. Jafarius was leaning on the twisted hulk of the beer truck, considering a possible future as a freelance stigmata, when suddenly a blur raced across the field, this way, that way, back and forth, to and fro, until finally it crashed directly into the truck, knocking itself unconscious. That blur was the Leviathan. He awoke with a start. He saw Jafarius and said, "What happened?" To which Jeff replied, "You were out there, big guy." Well, Leviathan became incensed, yelling, "No effing way I was out! You missed the tag!" And look, I skinned my knee too! Jafarius now realized that the unlikely duo are now blood brothers. And together, they ransacked the wreckage for bandages and Miller Lite. Hugo then heard a creaking sound and turned to see an impish figure emerge from under a crate of Bruce Springsteen CDs and Caddyshack videos. Approaching the bedraggled soul, Hugo asked who he was and if he was okay. The victim stared blankly at Hugo, something Hugo would come to expect. And stated, "I was born in the USA, specifically the Parisian galaxy to the west. I got into a little hometown jam, so they sent me here to kill the yellow man. And by the way, I'm